What are you really waiting for? It's a question to ponder not only on a Monday when the weather's changed, a Tuesday when the Monday's over, a Sunday when the weekend's over. It's something to ask yourself any day of the week, I think. What are you really waiting for? What am I really waiting for before I do something? In terms of that thing that you've been wanting to do for days, weeks, months, maybe even years. What's it going to take, or what has got to happen before you take action? The reason this came up was because I looked at the calendar. So I saw it's going to be the 30th of June tomorrow. That means we're pretty much at the end of the first half of June already, right? 6 months of this 2020 year, which hasn't exactly started the way we wanted it to, but 6 months have gone like that, okay? And as we get older, when you're in my age group, in terms of definitely over 35, definitely over 30, time does feel like it's going quicker. Things that used to matter are all kind of brought into perspective now. And you get to see what really matters. And for me, what really matters is spending the time that I want, doing the things I want to do with the people that I love. And it's scary to think that there are people out there that are going to live the second half of this year, the second half of their life, with regrets in terms of not taking action when they could have, in terms of letting the fear of what other people are going to say, do, think, hold you back, letting the possibility of getting to the end of 2020, looking back and thinking, I wish I'd done X, Y, Z, instead of, oh well, at least I had a go at X, Y, Z, right? The difference is that there's life experience there when you do have a go at something, when you do experiment, when you do take yourself out of your own comfort zone and do something that potentially scares you, that makes you uncomfortable, rather than get to the end of the year, look back, and that is going to weigh heavily on you. That has the potential to weigh heavily on you if you're of the mindset, if you have the mindset that you're going to not do something until something massive happens. And again, looking at my life, there's been a handful of things that have already happened that you don't always expect, or you can't expect, or you would never wish upon anyone else, but they've happened in my life. I'm sure they've happened in everyone's lives, right? Something happens that triggers you, and there's so much pain and there's so much shock that it forces you to do something. And it's that I want to, if I could bottle that feeling, not the sadness, not the anger, not the trauma, but what I would love to be able to bottle is that spark that makes you go, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z now because that happened. I'd love to bottle that bit where something big doesn't have to happen, and you take action so that in another 6 months' time, your life is or could be unrecognizable in terms of the way you're living it, in terms of the way you feel, in terms of the way you do things on any given day, as opposed to existing for the next 6 months, not having any kind of drive, any kind of plan, and just working each day to get through the day so that you can do it all over again tomorrow. And then look back in a week's time and go, oh, well, I'll start again next week. That really saddens me sometimes to think that, well, it's possible for me. If I wasn't to stay focused and constantly remind myself of why I'm doing all of this, right? In terms of the bigger picture, so that ultimately prevention is better than the cure, right? In terms of preventing or being proactive with your daily actions and your thoughts and ultimately your results. If you can be proactive and do something in spite of or without the need for some kind of massive trauma to happen for you to do it, your life could be so much different in a week's time, in a month's time, in a year's time, and definitely by the end of 2020 as well, right? We've already gone through so much change. So I implore you, if even just one person hears this message and does something differently, then my work is done for the day. The purpose of these videos is to inspire just one person out there who's watching this video, who's sat through and listened through all of my waffle. Sometimes I apologize, but it's as much a cathartic process of me getting my thoughts out, and in the hope that these thoughts will help someone. And I would love that if this has resonated with you, then you either subscribe to this channel, like the page wherever you're seeing this, and drop me a comment below as to what resonates with you and ultimately what you're going to do as a result of seeing this video, as a result of someone talking to you, as the result of someone, you don't need permission to start something that you've been holding yourself back from. Go and do it, and then at least you learn from the lesson. There's no failures, there's only lessons in terms of it's information, it's data, right? You try something, does it work or not? You learn from it, you then move on to the next thing, okay? The pain, the biggest anguish is going to be in that level of regret that could be had if you don't do anything and you wait for something traumatic to happen before you do it, as opposed to doing something so that you never have to wait for the trauma to come along. Something to ponder Monday night. I hope it helps. Even just one person. Have a good night.